What's good? What's popping? What's cracking? What's happening? It's your girl, Miss Danny, and I'm back with my girl, Miss Jackie.
Hey guys.
And this is Tea Kee with Danny and Jackie. This is episode 6, for real 6, not 6A or 6-1. We are back this week right on time. So excited. I forgot to tell y'all last week when we were leaving, because we was on a tight schedule, that y'all can find us everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, Anchor, wherever you get your podcast from, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We're literally everywhere. So please make sure you like, share, comment, tell a friend, all that good stuff. I had to correct that from last week. Miss Jackie, how are you, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. As usual, so much to talk about. Every time we think we're gonna have a cute little compact show,
something always pops off.
People gotta show out. So I'm gonna get right into it. And I guess we'll spend a couple minutes on this. I want to start with Miss Wendy Williams.
I hope Wendy's blessed after Tabitha blessed her out.
I'm not cousin Tab. Tab not old enough to be my auntie, so I call her cousin Tab. Some of y'all, that's your auntie. Just put respect. First of all, Miss Tabitha Brown, we love you, sis. We love you. We love your family. Everyone's a beautiful family. Even the dog is cute.
Yes, it's a great family.
What can you say bad about Tab? Like nothing.
Ask Wendy what she can say bad about.
Because I've been following Tab for years. I'm not nobody's vegan. It's literally her calm, wonderful, happy spirit and her little, motivational little, and so I'm like, okay, cool. So Tab had the pleasure, the honor of retiring her husband, Chance. Not retiring from work, but retiring from his career because he was a police. And who would really want your man to be a police if he didn't have to?
Right.
He was holding her.
LAPD.
Right, at that, right. So I'm glad that he got out the game, for real. She was able to retire him and allow him to pursue his passion because he's been holding her down so she could pursue her passion. So in a wonderful, healthy situation, marriage, that's what should happen. So Miss Wendy Williams, which let me also pause this. I don't like, a lot of people have been reading Wendy and they've been misgendering her. And I don't like that. Right. It's plenty of reasons for you to cuss Wendy out without you being super disrespectful and misgendering her. Okay? Right. Like, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Right. But Miss Wendy, you are dead wrong for projecting your insecurities and what happened in your past relationship on this woman. There was no reason, and she gave you exactly what you deserved. She gave you exactly what you needed. You was real nice about it. I'm not as nice. You don't always I get it, it's your job. You talk about people, you talk about people's business. We know that's how you got it. But girl, it's one thing to discuss facts and what happened. Like you can say, oh, Tab retired her husband. He's no longer a police officer. He's going to go work. But you said, oh, I've been there, done that, had one of those. Pause. You didn't have what she had. Nobody looked at your marriage not once. It was like, you know what? That's a beautiful situation Wendy got. No one thought that, girl. No one. So you didn't have that. So you was already wrong. You was inserting yourself. You, as a journalist, you should know when, if you're going to tell the news, honey, tell it and keep your feelings out of it. You was wrong. Stay out of that woman's business. She was her husband. You was wrong.
I think another thing that she did that was wrong was, one, then she was like, oh, their marriage is going to have problems. Like that was she's like, their marriage is going to be on the rocks. And I'm like, why would you even wish that on somebody? And two, again, she's actually showing that what she did when she did it wasn't out of a pure intent. She did it because she was trying to make Kev love her. That's it. If you do something, do it with a pure intent. That way, even if the end result is not what you expected, you're not bitter because you did that out of pureness, out of kindness of your heart. But if you're doing something to get something and then you don't get what you were looking for, that's when you make statements like this. Anything that Tabitha did, one, you're calling out another rich woman. Tabitha did something she could afford. This is something she could afford to do. This is not struggle love here. She could afford so that her husband didn't have to go to work. He could do this other business venture. They can afford this as a family, just like he worked so she could do what she was doing, right?
Exactly.
This is not risky. You understand what I'm saying?
He's going to go teach basketball to the children. Like,
it's a lot. But a lot of people on Twitter are with Wendy like, oh, she retired him. She didn't retire him. She just said, you can go do this other thing. You can believe in yourself like you helped me believe in me. And that's altruistic and beautiful. And when you care about people, that's proper behavior in a family unit. It didn't even have to be her husband. In a family unit, that is proper behavior. That's how family members should treat each other.
She's returning the favor. He held her down, so now she's about to hold him down.
Yeah.
You can retire from something and do something else, guys. Like, I don't know, like, he's not old, so he's not going to retire and not do anything. And it's not like she said, oh, I'm going to retire him. He's going to be my manager.
Right.
Because we now that, like, okay, and Auntie Mary can tell us about that. And that's no shade. Like, no, he's going to go do his own thing. Like, people can retire more than once from several different things. Wendy, again, we know you're in a lot of pain, and Tabitha prayed over you, and I hope you received the prayer, and I hope that the happiness that you're wanting finds you, girl, because that was nasty. That was nasty, and you was wrong. And we're done with you.
We're done. Okay, we're gonna talk about women in sports.
We're gonna talk about women in sports. The Olympics. Also, shout out to the sisters on the sideline at the finals, the NBA finals.
So we know poor Sha'Carri, she had like a traumatic experience. She found out that her mother had passed away from a reporter, right? Like the reporter wasn't being shady or anything. The reporter thought, oh, I'm going to be like, so sorry for your loss. And her response was,
mid-interview.
Sorry for what loss? You know what I mean? So, you know, she had a traumatic experience with that, dealing with that loss, and that caused her to go and purchase some marijuana, right? And so when she tested, the marijuana was still in her system, and this disqualified her from the Olympics. So the thing is, she herself has taken responsibility for it. She hasn't asked for any special treatment, anything like that. She understood the assignment, and she said, I did the opposite. So, you know, that's amazing that she's willing to take responsibility for her own actions. I think the problem with the Olympics is that it's been so long that we feel like they've been oppressing and monitoring Black women, that is why I think even us understanding on any level, most like any athletic thing, you shouldn't be taking drugs. Everybody is like sheltering her. We also feel bad for her, right? We also feel bad because of the situation that she had. But this isn't the only problem, that the Olympics is having. They got mad with the swim team, the young ladies. They have natural hair. They wanted specific swim caps. They're like, oh no, you can't use those. You can't use those.
I believe it's called the Soul Cap.
So I own one. I have one. It's fantastic. It does not move. It does not move while you're swimming. It don't move. Okay. It don't move while you are swimming. So so there's that. And their only response is, oh, no one ever needed it before. Okay. And even while we were growing up, one of the skaters, there was a French skater, she was Black. They used to take points away from her because they were like, oh, she would have the same leotard on that everyone else did, but it was like she's heavier on the bottom. So like, oh, that's obscene. Like she would lose points for her
For her
clothing.
body, for the natural shape
for
of
her
her
natural body. We saw the same thing with with the the gymnastics, right? How they tortured those girls during the gymnastics. So I think it's a problem with the Olympics that the Olympics kind of fall into this category of thing that is like there is a gold standard. And because it's so rigid, you know, it doesn't allow for anything else. Even they disqualified some of the young ladies from Africa because of the natural, they're not on anything. This is the natural amount of testosterone in their body.
Which is not a disability. Someone tried to tell me, well, that's like a disability. And so they can't compete. And I'm like, that is not a disability.
It's just plain old discrimination. Like the Olympics needs to recognize that they have not updated, upgraded, integrated anything, especially on the women's side. And it's just plain old discrimination. And something else happened in sports recently too. This was ESPN. Did you hear about what was going on between Rachel Nichols and Maina Taylor?
Yes, well, that's why I said at the beginning of this. Shout out to the women on the sidelines at the finals right now, because I mean Black women in sports, you know, it's always another standard. There's Black athletes and there's Black woman athletes, which that's like a double homicide. So you gotta be that much better. You gotta go. There are always, whether it's a job, whether it's a fair, you know, case, whether it's anything, they're coming for us. So I wonder, as far as the Olympic governing body, not to go back to that for a second, but who's on these committees? How often, you know, because it's every 4 years, and then it takes them so long. How many Black people are on these committees, let alone that? I mean, because a lot of these countries don't really have that many Black people to begin with. Like, what does Tokyo know about Black hair and things like that? So I'm just wondering about that. To go back to the ESPN thing, I mean, they say that we make a lot of this stuff up when we talk about the treatment of women and Black women and how we're, oh, whatever. Baby, if it weren't for people getting caught on camera, y'all would swear that we was lying. You know when somebody's coming for you. You know when somebody doesn't like.
Well, that was the big blow up in ESPN. They were like, we had a lot of people who were claiming to be allies in our face, but we knew something was fishy, and here it is on camera.
Oh, right, because I gotta be your ally on camera, and I gotta, you know, say these things that I'm supposed to say and be whatever. But it's actions.
Yeah. So it's a lot of policing in all of these areas. And so a lot of times we think that, you know, we've made all this progress, and we have made progress, but the policing of women's thoughts, bodies, what we should be doing, that is well and alive. The microaggressions and the policing of what we do and what we can't do is well and alive. And it's, you know, guys, like everyone tries to be like, oh, they're so forward thinking, but they're really not. These incidents show us that. I wanted to talk about another incident of policing.
Wait, before you click it,
before you change it.
Shikari, girl, we
love you.
We love and support you. We love and support
you.
And that's right. That's all. You're loved here. Okay, now you click.
Okay, clicking. We're gonna talk about another incident of policing. This is at the Turkey Leg Hut. Have you heard about this in Texas? So, pretty popular spot in Texas, third ward area. It is literally a big old tent where people eat stuffed turkey legs. And recently they put down a very strict dress code that was like shocking. People were putting on like their Sunday's best and going to Twitter like, going to Turkey Leg Hut, you know. So they said everything. So it was supposed to be, at first it was like giving measurements. It has to be this long. You can't have overly ripped clothing. They were
very much high school, middle school dress code.
Yes. And then when they realized that they were doing the most, they updated. So now it's like it was a little bit more casual, but you still can't wear slippers. I still have it. So that's the other thing for me being a northerner. I'm not sure what they mean by slippers. Is it the house shoes? Is it the slides? Like, the Nike slides everyone wears. I would think when you're outside, they kind of fall in the same category. What do you think?
Okay, so this right, Third Ward, Houston, Texas. Which shout out to everybody in Houston. Y'all know I used to live there for a long time. I have love for Houston. First of all, it's too hot down there to be policing people like that. It's hot as hell, and it's the middle of the summertime.
So they say you can't wear do-rags, men can't wear do-rags, none of those things.
Do not police. This is giving Monique tea. Do not police the people who support you.
So then after that happened, someone had posted a picture of the owner, one of the owners. She's beautiful. And what happened is she had on a dress that was actually very short. So everyone's like making a little joke, like, oh, she has on a dress shorter than her own dress code, right? Like everyone's kikiing. And then someone had said in the comments that the reason all this started was because the co-owner of the turkey leg hut, her husband, he was having little interludes with the customers that would come. He wanted an interlude in the nude.
Well, there's some tea for that ass. There's some tea for that ass.
So apparently this has triggered the dress code at the turkey leg hut. Because also they're not a new establishment. So they could come out and be like, oh, we're a family establishment. This is a dress code. But they've been out since like 2016. It's 2021.
They have, and this is not the first like scandal that they've been involved in. This is the most, I think, nationwide one. But like I said, I still have I follow a lot of people. I have a lot of friends still down in Houston, and they turkey leg hut has been known for a little bit of foolishness for a long time. But the thing is, like, they very much. The girls is doing it, like, they get it popping, they twerking up in there. Like, it's a good ratchet time.
I guess
and it's
she
like,
had enough.
Girl, own that. And it's like, if your husband is doing these things, like, don't mess with your business, girl. Like, he's gonna do these things regardless. Like, he is.
That was my thing. Like, no amount of covering up, you got to deal with that issue, right? People covering up is not going to change his behavior.
Because he's bold as fuck to do it in y'all's establishment.
Absolutely.
Like,
with repeat customers. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
That. So maybe find out who it is and ban them from your store or not. I mean, leave him. Y'all got a business. So I don't know, girl, because you kind of intertwined in that. But I mean, that's what courts and lawyers and things are for, honey. If you got proof of him cheating, but don't police black people. Don't police the very people when you was on the come up. Don't police them when you get to a certain level. And I will say that there was a thing going around of a Vietnamese I think it's a seafood shop owner. He was wearing a bonnet, and he kind of was jumping on the opportunity, saying, I'm never going to turn my back on the people who held me down when I was trying to. Basically, he's like, I'm not going to turn the customer away. And there was arguments in the comment section because they're like, I feel like he's mocking black people. And of course, with the bonnet, like, I didn't really like that. Like, okay, whatever. But the sentiment of what he was saying, I'm not going to turn my back on it when I didn't have nothing. And I'm like, for this guy to kind of get that,
right?
I don't love how he did it, but yes, he said that he will accept titty money.
There it goes.
All the money. He food stamps, EBT, whatever, credit cards, and titty money.
Warm from the crevice. There you go.
And it's hot, so it's gonna be a little damp, but
it still cashes. It
right.
Still gets stuff done.
You let it dry out a little bit. Hand sanitizer. Corona's still a thing, y'all. Coronavirus is
wash your hands.
But Feel better, turkey leg cut. I hope y'all work that out, because that's not that's not it. All right, so I'm not gonna spend too long on this. But I want to talk real quick about Lil Uzi Vert. Before this weekend's incident, I love Lil Uzi Vert. I'm here for his little, whatever.
Little third eye makeup.
Right. And like he's very much his
jewelry.
stuff, he gives us a shoulder and stuff, and he pays for the kids' colleges and stuff like that. Like, I don't hate on Uzi. But there's a report that he and his ex got into it. He, I guess, addressed the new boyfriend of the ex, and they got into it. His pistol came out.
Oh.
His pistol fell out when he was swinging with old dude or whatever. His pistol came out. I guess the girl saw it, whatever. And the report is saying that he hit his ex. I really hope it's not true, but we're going to go with what she said. We have no reason not to believe her, because they definitely are saying that he came for one. So I'm just wondering, why aren't more people talking about this? I did see it in one post online. People was more making jokes. And it kind of was like, here y'all go, not giving a fuck about black women, per usual.
That's the theme.
Right. Like, I don't care if Uzi is a tiny man. He's still a man. And my thing too, though, is because he's in a relationship with JT from City Girls. How do you feel, girl, about your man allegedly fighting his ex?
Now, a lot of times in those types of situations, everybody is like, men are trash until it's there. And that's just the trash. That's just you will see it. Like, a woman can be like, oh, men are this, men are that, but they never hold their man accountable for his actions. And that's a problem.
That is like,
and that's not even to the degree of physical violence, right? Just like little things, how he interacts with other women. If you saw a man that wasn't your man doing it, you'd be like, oh girl, you would tell your friend. Like, you'd be like, oh girl, don't worry about him, he's trash. But if your man does it, then you have an excuse.
Right, the screaming and yelling and like, I'm just imagining that whole situation. I want the truth to come out about this. If you're gonna file a police report, do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it should have been. I feel like if you went to the hospital, the police should have been at the hospital. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? Because like, this is, I don't want to say it's like almost with the Megan situation, but I feel like this is a little bit more cut and dry. Like, your boyfriend's there as a witness. If you went to the hospital, you obviously had injuries. They need to take pictures of those injuries. Police need to meet you up there, and a report needs to be filed. If it's not true, then he needs to speak on it. But I just don't like how I don't feel like enough people are talking about it and touching on it. I just want the truth to come out about this situation. If it is true, I'm extremely disappointed in Uzi, because, like I said, I definitely rock with him. But y'all got to keep y'all's hands to yourself.
Find the truth. Find the truth.
We just want the truth. We just want the truth. Speaking of the truth,
yes. Time for white people news.
Time for white people.
What's the truth? We need to know what's going on with Britney Spears. Oh my goodness. Free Britney. Free Britney.
It's the only white girl we really gonna, like.
Free Britney. And you know what also makes it crazy? Like, her sister, people were coming for her sister Jamie, saying she wasn't doing enough to support her. And Jamie got online and she was like, because of how we were raised, I support my sister as her sister. You know what I mean? I can only be there for her in these instances. I want her to be happy. I want her to be able to do what she wants to do. But because of how we grew up, like, on legal things, I can't do it. I don't have it. And right. She says she's been paying her own bill since she was 9 years old. So this whole family is like, because there's some celeb kids, their parents take the money, they put it away from them. They were like, no. Britney and Jamie, y'all are paying for your bills. You're paying for your bills. That's the life that they live. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, you know, this is a situation that's been going on for so long. Even if she needed that type of help, you know, it looks like how they set it up has not been beneficial to her or her children. She's not getting better. That's the idea. Maybe when this happened, it needed to happen, but it's supposed to be set up so that the person gets better and they can have control of their own life again. And that didn't happen. And then Danny, you had told me that Mariah Carey, Miley Cyrus, Katy Perry, and Christina Aguilera, they are trying to get their own stuff together to help her.
A legal fund, right? Which I hope that's the case. And somebody needs to jump in. And I don't understand why these judges, like, is the dad paying the judges off? Like, I feel like every time they go to court and the judge is like, no, like the dad must know these judges. Like,
I think what happens is with judges, especially on a lower level, they are worried about other people. They're not worried about Britney Spears. So that's a problem a lot of times when it comes to court cases. It's not actually case by case, it's law by law. So something can look glaringly wrong in one scenario, but I have to abide by a blanket law. And I think that's what's happening with Britney. Like, it's like, I can see this situation is glaringly incorrect, but it doesn't meet a blanket standard. So Britney, you have to go back with your dad. And it's unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate. So free Britney, hashtag free Britney.
Free Britney, y'all. Free Britney. What did Molly say? This shit is stressing her out. Y'all got to bring this bitch. It's stressing me the fuck out. Like, Britney ain't did nothing to nobody, okay?
But give us the beats. Give us the preteen beats. Give us the preteen beats.
Give us the beats and the bops and, like, girl.
Yeah. So hopefully they work something out for her.
Free Britney. Well, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because y'all know we can get. I'm going to production. We're just gonna touch real quick. There's on Twitter, or really all over the interwebs, but specifically on did I say specifically? Yes.
You said specifically. It's specifically on Twitter.
Yes, specifically on Twitter. There's been a battle of the chefs going on, where the kitchenista, Miss Angela, has been coming for Darius Crooks, as the kids like to call him. And I'm still trying to catch up and see. It seems like the last couple of weeks there's been a serious campaign, but from what I know, I believe he has actual charges. Because I will say, she's coming with receipts.
Well, they've been beefing for a long time. I mean, I've been on Twitter, but I wasn't like in Twitter, so I don't know everything that's happening. But like, people have been pulling receipts from like 2010. So they've been beefing a long time. She's been calling him out for a long time.
She's been pulling all these receipts, and people are coming forward saying, you know, I ordered this. I did not get, but I didn't get it. My cookbook didn't come, or I think he was doing pies and my pie was messed up, or my cake did not come through, and so they're calling him Darius Crooks. And they're also, I feel like, and I don't have all the facts on this, so I don't want to just sit there, but I think there's been some inappropriateness.
You're right, with young ladies. Like
that, with young ladies. So and we know Black people, y'all love to cover for these type of people.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all literally do. You know, y'all will make a woman, a Black woman, have to pull receipts and everything. It does not. It could be on videotape. You literally have a videotape of someone doing something to someone, and y'all will still not believe it. R.
Kelly.
Take that how you will. So, but I'm just saying, they're coming for the kitchenese, and I understand her personality may not be for everyone.
Right. They don't like her.
We can't say she's lying. She's produced too many receipts, and too many people are backing her story up. Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh, she's doing it for clout. I don't think she's doing it for clout, because, you know, I will say her dishes look legit. When she cooks, she's telling you from step 1 to step 2, because she's also pulling videos of him not knowing how to make Gravy from scratch.
He had a lot going on. And over seasoning things. She was posting one thing. He had put like Old Bay seasoning and salt and I think adobo. Like he had
I
put
just
like
saw
all
this. Yes.
yeah, he had put like all this stuff in it. And she was like, is this your king? So but
Man,
I think you make a fair point when you're like, people don't like her. And people have to understand, I mean, something too, I mean, I'm putting understand in quotation marks because your trauma doesn't mean you get to traumatize me. But a lot of times when people have strong reactions to minor things, they have a history of trauma. And so that is why, you know,
right.
she's, I think, adamantly calling him out. You can see something's going on with her, but this is really bothersome for her. And
Right.
so I don't know if she's doing it for the clout because she's pretty popular, but
She
she
can
is doing it to expose him.
right. And for that, I mean, keep up the good fight, sis. People are mad, they're coming for her. I don't, she may be blocking some people unnecessarily, but she's trying to keep her space.
Half my timeline is blocked. Like they're like, we could tell you what's happening, but we block, girl.
So last night, I saw y'all. Everyone pretty much knows Cam on stage. You know, he does the clean comedy.
Yes.
And he's funny. Like he's funny. Him and his wife. He also has a beautiful family that we love. A beautiful love story that we love. And his wife and the Kitchenista were going back and forth. And a lot of people were confused and trying to put it together. They were going back and forth on Twitter. And I think what happened was the Kitchenista posted an old interview with Darius and with Kev.
Kev, yes.
And she asked him about some things just to clarify. Now,
yeah, how much things cost?
How much things cost? And he was talking about people who try to skip out on some of his more lavish meals or productions, and people try to dispute. And he was saying like, no, I have all your information. And, like if anything, so I guess he was doing a thing. He used to do a thing where he would post people's information. So she was trying to verify, like, Kev, like, do you understand, like, this is wrong? Like, if someone does you wrong, it's not cool to go online and post all of their personal information. Like, there's professional ways to go about that. So I think she was asking him about that. And I think, which a wife is going to be protective of her husband. I think they had a misunderstanding, but she was like, why are you coming for him? Why is he in this? And she was very like, I'm not trying to go there, like I'm not trying to whatever, but this is what I asked. She accused her of telling someone else's story, which she never name dropped. I think she was just being very overprotective mama bear of her husband, which we get.
I think that Kev's wife is like, we know who she is, but she's not in these Twitter streets. Not even like Kev is.
I ever really saw her tweet.
So don't do it. Like your first jump into Twitter should not be an argument. You will lose because that's what they do. Like that's what Twitter does. You know what I mean? And don't. If they weren't talking to you, if no one added you,
then no.
Because chances are you don't know what's going on. Especially, with Twitter, everything is out of context. I have seen my friends like post something and I'm like, what? And then I have to go to their page and then see the whole thing because Twitter will post your one comment without any context at all.
You have to go and you have to do the research. And I really hope she had it out of context. And I hope that that whatever is squashed and they can move forward to that. Let her do her work and expose this man, and y'all just stay out of it and whatever. So, best of luck for that. All right, so we're down to the last couple minutes here. So, I got 1 minute, and I don't know if we're gonna call this the hot seat. I don't care. I don't know what y'all want to call it. I don't know. But real quick, I'm gonna come. I want 1 minute for you, Zane. The author Zane, who, if you follow her Facebook page, there's been some ashy behavior in the past. These older people have been letting their ashiness show lately. But she shared a video. T.S. Madison, shout out T.S. Madison. She shared a video yesterday saying that basically, if your man gets a hold of some good dick, nothing you do will keep him from that good dick.
At all.
And the girls got upset. And you know who gets hurt. You know the C-pet people will be hurt them first. She didn't say anything bad. She didn't say nothing about women. She said even herself has lost a man to some good dick. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing you can do. She shared it to her page. Someone asked, "Is this a man?" And she replied, "Yes." A good, strong yes. She misgendered T.S. Madison, this public figure, this author, this sex author at that, on her public forum, was okay misgendering this Black woman who is out here doing all types of things. And then
she literally did everything but apologize. She said at the 23 mark, she refers to herself as a man, which she didn't. I went to the 23 mark. She said, "Oh, I misunderstood. This person doesn't identify." Oh, girl.
And it was a day. I didn't know a day and how. Girl, that's still disrespectful. That's still disrespectful because it took you 2 seconds. You knew enough that you was gonna share this page to your page. So why wouldn't you check out whose page and what you were sharing, girl? You didn't share anything on the internet? No, ma'am. Not in this day and age. I don't like this misgendering shit and this transphobic shit and the homophobic shit and all this bullshit y'all be on. This shit is played out. It's played out.
You could just be quiet. Like, it's free.
Literally, shut the fuck up. Everybody. Felicia Rashad, love you. Shut the fuck up. Bill Cosby supporters, shut the fuck up. Everybody, shut the fuck up.
Just be quiet. It is free. It costs you nothing. If you don't understand something, Google it. And if you still don't understand, be quiet.
Be quiet. Or there's a respectful way to ask. You put your church finger up and say, "I don't know. I'm confused. Help me out here." If you can't, come on now, y'all. Let's just do better. It's 2001. So that's
20. Is it 2001?
Is it 2000? Child, 2021. They done got me, girl. I'm over here hot. It's 2021. But y'all acting like it's 2001 with this dumb shit. Woo! All right. Y'all, thank you so much. That was episode 6. We will be back next week. Like I said, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, IG. Oh, I always say Instagram and IG. YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from, that's where you can find us. Share us, like us, do everything. You don't have to go home, but you can stay here. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.